Well, good morning everyone and welcome to the show. Welcome to part 3 of the KW Z800 AW. Today we are going to install this into a vehicle using the iData APX kit. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, in part 1 we unbox it, we show you all the back, all the hardware, all the things that come in the box. In part 2, we power this screen up and we show you the features that are built into the radio. Let's get started on part 3. Join me in the vehicle. This is the factory radio we are going to take out. It is an 8-inch Ford Mustang radio. And right now it's not powered up because I want you to see what it looks like in the dash. Now, things that I like about this radio, it has a giant volume knob here, track up and down here. It just has nice symmetry to it. And I want to keep this bezel. I don't want to get rid of it. I like my push to start. I like all my levers. I like my air conditioner. I like the look of this. That is why we're doing the APX kit with the JVC, so that we can retain this look. How do we get this apart is the question that we need to address. To do that, we want to head back over to the workbench. We're going to flash the Maestro RR. In this case, we're going with an RR2, because when we do that, it's going to give us the instructions to remove this whole area here so that we can get to this screen. We need to get to the screen because there's brackets on there that are going to attach to our APX kit. When you open your RR2 or your RR, there's an instruction manual with a quick start guide. Basically what it wants you to do is head over the internet and download their software that looks like this. Create an account and then log in. Inside of the package will be a USB to USB of some kind that allows you to plug this into your computer. I have an Apple computer, which this software is Apple compatible, and it's only USB-C, so I have a USB-C to USB-C adapter. I find it best to launch the software first, then plug in the brain. If you're doing an RR, it's really simple. You start on this page right here. If you're doing an RR2 or an SR or any other module that has Bluetooth in it, it gives you this option to read and flash embed a device. The reason for that is this has been sitting on a shelf. It could have gotten all kinds of weird things, so they give you this option to reflash the firmware on it. If you click it, it's real simple. It takes a couple seconds. This will allow you to make sure that you have the most current Bluetooth. When it's done, select redetect, and this will take you back to your flash page where you're going to start. Flash by vehicle. In this case, we have a 2020 Ford Mustang with the My Ford Touch 8-inch screen with amplified 9-speaker system. Next, it's going to ask you what steering wheel you have. You can zoom over the steering wheel to enlarge to check what the buttons are going for. In this case, this one here is the one that we are dealing with. We can tell that because it has the volume up and down and the 4 arrows here. This one has this back arrow that our car doesn't have, and it has a picture of a pony here. And this one has volume controls on the passenger side and not on the driver's side. When you get to this page, it's going to ask you, because it doesn't know what radio you're doing, what kit you plan on using. S8F01 is our kit. And at this point, it's going to automatically stop and ask us for the serial number of the kit. The serial number is located here on the side of the box, so make sure you flash the module before you empty out and throw away the box. And if you get the code right, you get these cool green box that says move on. Select JVC. We have 2 models to choose from, the 1000 AW float or the Z800, which is what we have. Now it's asking for the serial number for that. That is located on this sticker on the side of the box. With the appropriate serial number, it'll take you to the firmware. Now it's going to recommend accessories that you may want in order to streamline your install. For example, the mic 1. So just kind of scroll down here. It's also capable of integrating with the radar detector. On this page, it's going to ask you how you'd like to configure for the vehicle. Meaning, are you using a factory amplifier? Are you going to keep it? Do you have a backup camera from the factory? Climate controls? In this case, we're going to leave all of these green. You can rearrange or choose whichever function you want for your steering wheel control. This one I do like to take my time and kind of go through it, make sure there's no silly things connected. Like for example, mute voice. That's this center button here on the steering wheel control. I want it to just mute. I don't need it to be a secondary function for Siri because I have one of those located on the other side of the steering wheel control. And I'm not a big fan of press to hold to mute because I already have a mute feature. Now I do have some accessory features that I can program on my factory dash kit. When you're happy with your selections, move on to the next thing, which is a roundup page. This kind of goes through and shows you everything that you've picked. If you scroll down, it'll tell you basically everything you want to know. And then from this page, you see the green gear here. If you'd like to change something in one of these boxes, you can click that and it'll take you back to that page and allow you to change it without having to go back through a whole bunch of other stuff or reflash the module. In this case, we are going to flash it. If you're planning on doing Maestro programmable outputs or MPOs, this little button right here, this is the point in which you're going to do that. We are going to move on to install guides. It gives us a basic breakdown of the kit, some additional information. We can click on any one of these and it'll take us out to that specific page. It gives us what comes in the box, which is very important, as well as we scroll down here, it's going to tell us the information we need to know about our vehicle. For example, Mustang 15 to 23. Dash disassembly is D13. Installation type 1. Notes 21 to 23. Amplifier not retained. That has to do with the BO system. That's a whole nother video. If we click on the Mustang tab, it takes us out to the actual disassembly. And here it will walk us through everything we need to know about taking the car apart. It'll also tell us the brackets that we need and the positions that we need to put them in. And that's these two brackets. We'll set those right there. Now that we know this, and we know how to take the car apart, it's telling us to go to assemble radio chassis, follow the instructions. Then go to assembly 8-inch screen or 10-inch screen and follow the instructions. Then step 20 says go to installation and connect installation type 1 and wiring diagram. Install type 1 and follow the instructions. So before we get into this next segment, we need to hop into the car and get the pieces that we need in order to achieve this. So let's jump back into the car, let's take it apart, grab the screen, the radio brain, and also the USB adapter out of the vehicle, because we're going to need all those to finish this. After following instructions, we're to this point here. This is the radio brain. We're going to need these brackets in order to attach to our new JVC. We're going to need this screen in order to get these brackets off, put in our new S8 screen. Then we need to go into the center console and remove the USB here, because we do have a replacement for this. The tools you're going to need to do this disassembly is a 7mm ratchet drill. Every screw in this installation is going to be a 7mm. They give you a plastic pry tool here to help with disassembly. We have two of our own that we like to use. We have a metal one as well as a more rigid plastic one. We also have a small pin extraction tool that allows us to pry apart the harnesses much easier. We also recommend you have a parts bin, so grab one of your wife's cool Tupperware bowls so that you can keep track of all of your tools and screws while you do the disassembly. Let's jump back over to the bench with these products and figure out how they are going to go together in our installation. With our screen and brain box out of the car, looking at the instructions, we can see we need to remove these brackets off of the brain, and if we scroll down to the next page, we need to remove these brackets off of the screen. The radio brackets are simple enough. It's just a Phillips. On this, however, it is a very small Torx of some kind. We'll start with the main unit. Make sure to keep the screens while doing this installation covered and far away from your installation so you don't damage them in any way. On these brackets here that come in the box, there is an R, there is an L. There's also an R and L on these. Putting these on, there's little teeth and eyelets that need to line up. Sometimes you have to kind of work it around to get it to where it makes the most sense. Look at the picture. According to the picture, this is the top, this is the front. Line these things up and you can use the screws that you just took out. With that done, we have our perfect fit. This will slide back in just like that factory did. Now it is on to screen. Make sure that whatever you're going to set it on is clean of debris. For the Ford, in this case, it is a T9, very small. Remove the two brackets, and now we're done with the screen. Grab the S8 screen, place it down. Make sure that your screen is facing up. Make sure that you can read the text. Grab the bag that says SM5 and add the 6 screws to the back of your screen. With all the screws started, tighten them up. Do not use a drill for this portion of the event. With the brain and the screen brackets now in place, we need to move on to the wiring harness. Set these aside someplace safe so you don't scratch them.